This is Chong. Okay, I'm thinking this is better because I'm not like right on top of the camera and you can see me anyway. When it, oh my god, I'm so sorry. When it doesn't do that, this is my problem. Oh, okay. I have so many issues at times. I swear to God, my streams are like the Dead and Green show. Yes, I love those guys that would fix everything with duct tape, but instead of duct tape, I got boxes. But yeah, I don't know how. Okay, I was gonna say that box is in the way, but I don't know. It might not be a bad idea. Alright, well, that's not bad. But I finally got through my hair treatments. I was putting oil and leaving conditioner in my hair, and I would braid it. And I did this for like 6 months because I was getting a couple gray hairs and my hair was dry. And I thought my hair was gonna like collapse or something and fall out. So I was braiding these for 6 months, and every time I take a bath, I was infusing it, and it was like any kind of little oil. It was like if I had coconut oil or whatever. And then I would take different like lotions and put it together and put it in a bottle. And right after I washed my hair, I put that in, left it in, and then toweled off my hair and just made these braids for 6 months. And now my hair is really nice and healthy. And it's actually my natural color and looks way better. So, if you have bad hair, this could be the way to go for you, honestly. But I figured it was time to unwind. I got off work, and I like to work on my knitting when I'm home because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes people aggravate me to the point where I just I just wanna, I don't know, just do, I just think bad things, so I yard. But I was thinking, instead of making this one huge long piece, since I wanna since I wanna do the stripes for his thing, this is a really good width for like a hot plate yarn table, whatever. Because he told me he doesn't have, he don't have his coffee table because he thought it was too cluttery. So I'm thinking of doing this and putting the yarn braids, since he wants blue and orange, and it's for his Special Olympics team. I thought it was for school. The last stream I kept saying was for school, and it's not. It was for the Special Olympics. So, anyways, I'm gonna like just take these off, and I'm gonna probably do some orange braids, and I'm gonna sew it in here, and then do the same thing and create something this long again, and do that for. And I'm thinking my foam table is pretty long, so I'm gonna do it for the lift of my foam table that I think would be good for a centerpiece, and then he could like put different things on. So, anyways, anywho, I'm gonna get my yarn needle. I don't know why I forgot that. I got everything else. Alright. Okay, there's my needle set. I'm gonna take when I take this off my knitting needle, I'm probably going to sew around it because instead of casting off and doing all this fancy stuff, we could take a shortcut by doing that. And then it'll be one big piece. I around this camera. I really am the red cutting show these days. But this was one of my favorite shows back in the day. Anywho. Alright, thank God. Here we go. But yes, this is here. I just pulled this out of here. What we're gonna do now, you don't have to unconnect this when you're braiding, when you're just sewing with yarn. You really don't. Just leave that connected because I'm gonna secure this edge by sewing it. And over here, and here. So. Where's my metal one? I think this was. I don't think I liked that. See, when you do this enough, you're gonna find needles you like better than others. I like that really big metal over here. Oh god. There we go. Yeah, this was the one I liked. Sometimes when I'm doing my bigger projects, I like the bigger ones because they go through more material, and I like the metal ones because they go through your material and they don't really bother your material and it doesn't get snagged. It's so annoying when these things get snagged a lot. I hate it. But I like to pull out a decent amount. Because this is going to be your remainder, and you're going to take this and sew all around here. And that's it. And then when you're out, hit this one. Eventually, I'm gonna probably do a yarn braid, and then that gets sewn in also. So it's an ongoing process, but you're always staying busy. And then you always could like add things, and like I said, why learn to? I mean, I am gonna learn to cast off from that, but for my little projects, if I can just do this and start getting this done, I mean, it just makes life easier. And I just cut off any excess from here because I literally just put this through and just double knotted it. Because I'm just gonna cut that again anyways. Instead of sitting here trying to have head trauma over everything, this is what I do. And I get this exactly where I want it. I don't like when the yarn kind of rules you. And if these rows aren't perfect, you kind of smush them together so they can tighten up once you knit them. And just push them together. That's all you do. And this one I don't like because it's kind of leaning this way. So you're just going to keep pulling up and then you can pull out like this. Until you get the shape you want it. You're shaping your material. And I want it exactly like that. I want the rows exactly that you control the rows this way. When you do it the other way, you leave it up to fate and the universe and everything in between. And you don't want that. When I make something, I want to know that it's what I wanted. So sometimes if you do these other alternate methods, which are nice to know because you always should know everything about what you do. When I do these, I just like to take my little shortcuts that most knitters probably don't take. because I'm a busy person and I like to get things done within an hour's time. I like to think I accomplished something and not working 6 months on a rug. That's just how I am. So, let me just move it out that way. Just like that. See how you're securing these rows? You just slide them through, and you could go all the way to around your border this way too. It's wonderful. I mean, just keeping this. I mean, keeping your yarn straight's not that difficult when you're doing this. But this is like getting snagged on everything. Alright, what is it connected to? Very safe. And just try to hold it in place when you're pulling it. Sometimes it gets snagged. But it's okay if it gets snagged because if you pull a little out, you can pull it back in. I think it's this part, this like fuzzy crazy part. I probably got to reknot this. There, let me reknot this all together. Sometimes if your knot isn't secure, this happens too. I'm going to put this through once, and hopefully my little snagging problem goes away. You can always like I did. I just literally reknotted it because I was having problems getting it through, and now it's going through nice. This is all the yarn embroidery is, and you don't gotta worry about all the stuff there. And you made the middle because I knitted this, and then I really like the idea of braids, so I'm gonna put the braids in the middle. And probably like I'm gonna start a braid here and start a braid here, but I'm gonna have to measure out my braids to be exact length of this. I mean, this is what makes things good. What makes things good, and will make it your own signature thing. It's whatever little ideas you have in your head. I like to create unique things, and I like to find symmetry in random chaos. And if you think about it, doing yarn work is kind of like dealing with random chaos. You got all your particles in disarray, and then you got, oh my god, there. String is gonna be the death of me. But you gotta put together things fall apart. It's just like it's, it's a symbolism yarn if you think about it. And it has a symmetry all of its own. And you're always able to create and destroy with yarn. It shows you kind of how life is unpredictable and predictable all at one time, all in one simple motion. And really, when you create anything, it's like that. If you create a song, a kid, I don't know, oil painting, any kind of art, art's creative because you're creating something. The word is the word, as they say. But I keep going up the cloth like this. And I gently take my two fingers and let them freely go through. if it was getting snagged like before, you got to retie this, and sometimes you just tie it once and you'll get a rhythm. You'll get a rhythm with it. And I'm doing it on the outermost row because it's where I took everything off this needle. So if you think about it, right now I got this spot here where those rope things. Do I have my other? Okay, good. I have both of these. Those are my little. I call these my chopsticks. These are my favorite chopsticks. I don't think I could knit without those. For some reason, those are my best ones. Alright, I'm just gonna cut these. I like to cut things away that are giving me confusion and all this random chaos and throw them in the garbage. Sometimes some things just need to get thrown in the garbage. This is how I kind of do my yarn art and stuff. There we go. See how it's turning out lovely? Because I want that striped look, but then I want it to be different. And it was just my idea. You might want to do just, you could do this and just connect different ones, but I'm just securing this row with yarn embroidery. Really all I'm doing. And then just moving on here. Alright, I'm probably going to end that there because I want to start my other braiding. I want to take actual braids and make them with the orange, because orange is his other color he wants. And I'm going to measure these out. And then on this yarn will literally, like if you have a little board like this, grab onto anything. It's crazy. And for a project like this, okay, I got all kinds of stuff going on here. Other than that, so we're just gonna cut this. You cannot keep track of your yarn if you don't cut things. What I'm gonna do now is measure this up. I'm gonna do, I wanna think, I think we'll do 18 string. So I'm gonna need 18 of the same size string. And I'm gonna start putting them in the middle and then knitting another one like this. And just keep the rhythm going. So, anyways, I'm gonna do my first string. I'll probably just like cut it off. I'll give a little leeway so I can like cut. So I do a little bit. I like to do a finger. Like I'll bring it up my board here. Like I like to take my thing here and then I measure my string on my board like that. And that's how I usually get my first one. I make it a tiny bit longer in case I gotta cut it and tie and different things. So if I gotta adjust, I leave extra room. If you don't leave room for adjustments, it's not good at all. And if you're in braiding in the 18 string method, it's all mathematics. 6 times 3 is 18. So you're doing an actual just a little braid, and you're just doing it in 3 strands. And if it's 18 string, it would just be divided by 3, which would be 6. And that's how you get it. Just simple mathematics. So those out there that aren't the craftiest things in the world, I mean, My other video, I'll show you how to cast these off, and I'll show you how to cast more because I want to get. I'm measuring this out to the length over here. I'm measuring it out on this width of the square, everything. It's my measuring board, and I'm using it like that. Because if you use it like that, you're better off. It's just so much happier because you have something, and then you have all this here where you can like braid. I could do basic braiding and put it in one of these, move this around, and this foam thing is good for measuring. They're wonderful. I don't know why they're not in a craft section, but like I said, sometimes you gotta be creative when you find your yarn stuff. Find your rhythm, find what's fun and easy for you. Don't try to make it complicated. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to be the best knitter. It's like being a chef. You could enjoy cooking and not be a chef. I mean, you could, there's all kinds of little projects you can do and not be a pro. Okay, I got my 6 string, so that's going to be for my 1 string of the braid. And then I'm going to measure this. Okay, and then I measure this out here. I measure it with the other stuff. There you go. See how I'm doing it? And then I just bringing this up to here and just taking the tail end there because I'm making my middle section. Because you want all of this symmetrical and you want it all the same size. Because doing this, the yarn embroidery, you're sewing in your last row. So this is all sewed in, and then when you do the yarn braid, you sew this in. So you don't have to worry about having to learn a technique of doing this, a technique of doing that. Just learn how the end you can get it to look like that, and then sew in your last row. I mean, it's so easy, and it's a nice shortcut because it really people. I mean, there's been experienced. I like to call them experienced and very educated knitters out there, and they don't know about shortcuts. I'm all about shortcuts because with shortcuts means it gets done quicker. And a lot of times people get discouraged because of length of a project. But when you're starting to knit, do little projects. Don't do anything huge. I just seen my friend knit a hat. Do you think I'm gonna go knit a hat? No. People don't do this. Because you gotta, I know it was crocheting. She crocheted her a hat. That's a lot. Don't take on a big project. Do a yarn rug, or you can just do a braided yarn rug and not even knit it off. I mean, that's a possibility. And then why not? I mean, that's how I just live my life. Why not? And it looks nice. And then you can have it done quicker. Just like I already got one done, and I'm going to try to go to width my table and give them that, and I'll probably be done by the end of the week. And then I can start on another one. I could do maybe a different design. And then when I feel like I'm want to do a hat, I'll go ahead and do a hat. But don't sit there and try to make the most hardest thing first. I haven't even done a hat yet. I'm just kind of enthralled by these yarn rugs right now, and people are liking them. So I'm making them for people, and that's it. And eventually I'm going to venture off to something else. But I figure summer's coming, everybody has a hat. And if you go make someone a hat, they're going to throw it in a bag. So right now, it doesn't make no sense to make anybody a hat. I want something nice that people are going to put on their table, put on display, and people will say, "Oh, that's nice. Who made that for you?" Yeah, people have these random conversations all the time. And who has a yarn rug? Not hardly nobody. But now my brother does, and now he's going to have two. And people seem to, it's the cheapest, one of the cheapest activities you could do, and it's fun. And what these days is fun and cheap? Nothing. It's crazy how the world has come. I just like pull this under and I just do a nodding. I just pull under and over. And then just bring it. And I have my board here. See, that's good. You take this, and with my board, I could stick this in good. See these foam boards for kids. It's a kids play mat, and I could do this, and now I could do a little simple yarn braid. You don't have to overexert yourself either with making 100 million of these. Just make your little braids as you go along to break it up because you don't want to sit there and be knitting for 8 hours either. I don't. Eventually, I want to relax and chill out, and that's it. You want to kind of to make this stay fun and constant. You have to like what you do. If you're just making something you don't even like just because you want to make, if you want to make it, it's fine. But if you change your mind, that thing you were making that you thought might be a hack could be something else. And just think of something that's useful that you think you can make it into, and if you put your mind to it, you can. I mean, if I can, anybody can. And when you braid, it's just like braiding hair. You're taking this, pulling it over towards the middle, and then you're holding the middle, pulling over that way, one way, and then pull over the opposite way. For all you guys that are maybe males that don't have long hair, or gals that aren't good at braiding, you're just pulling over one way, holding this end, and pulling over the other way. You're constantly just doing this. That's it. That's how these projects could look nice without putting a whole lot of effort into it. Why sit there and crochet for hours when you can, for decorative reasons, stick a braid in the middle? I mean, it's silly. So sometimes you gotta think of this. And then I just go down, and you do the same thing so you get all the way down. And it's pretty, and this isn't as a thick of a braid, but you want to sort of thick because he's actually using this for a hot plate too. He's obsessed with using these for hot plates. I told him he should use it on his dresser. He said no, I want it on my table. He wants it literally on his dining room table. So I'm trying to make these where it would be versatile for like kitchenware because he's serious about this tableware. He's driving me insane over tableware. So I'm giving him his tableware. And I'm gonna cut off just a little piece of this. So I'm just gonna tie it up. Just like you would a rubber band or anything. Just make a knot. And not a slip knot, a knot. You're securing this baby. You don't have to worry about if 50 million pieces didn't go through. You're just doing one secure knot. And I'll do that again while it's secure. You go over like that. I hope you can see. Like this. And just put this string through the middle. Take your finger and pull it through. And then yank real hard. I mean, you can't. That can't get any easier, and it blends in with the tail, and you're gonna cut off anyways. I mean, It's so easy, it's sinful. And it looks good and it's a decent idea. Alright, now I have this yarn already threaded in here, so I want to be careful that I still kind of keep the integrity, but all these ends here that kind of come out, I'm going to put this on top of this row and attach this to it on top of all this. And that covers up that row. It gives it a nice decorative look. And it's going to look really pretty. I promise you. And I actually think that I'm going to just do a single knot. One of those knots, I'm just doing a single. He's probably going to bother me to make him another one when I'm done with this. He's probably going to want a matching set of two. So after this, I'm just going to get this, and then I'm going to make him another set. So he has the middle, and he's probably going to use these for the sides. So I might as well accommodate this. So anyways, when I'm doing this, alright, I knotted this the tail end of this to start the iron embroidery. And I am going to sew this onto this. Whatever. And like I said, I'm probably going to be making a matching set knowing him. And my single knot got stuck here, which we want it to. So we're going to bring this over here and up out of here. And just pull the string. And this look like it's like sticking out, this little tiny piece. I'm going to cut it. Any little tiny pieces you see sticking out as you're sewing this, cut them. If they get in your way and then a clean nice stitch, cut them. And you're fine. And I'm using the color of the blue to attach this to secure both of these and give it a really nice little ending, this row. Make it nice and pretty. Because it's literally, you kind of sewed a little bit, but you're putting this on top to secure this so you don't have to worry about the ends. Because it's just going to look really pretty. So I'm going to pull this over here. And literally just grab onto any yarn, you'll see, and it just goes together. It's the easiest sewing you'll ever do in your entire life. And the less complicated. All you gotta worry about is it's the ends of my board it keeps getting stuck on. That's the problem. There. And then I do this. It's just a simple thing. I think it looks very professional. It gives it a very good professional touch, especially like if you were to make like kitchenware. You could probably do it in a sweater. If you were knitting a sweater, I mean, you want something that's decorative and nice. If you're making hats or this or that, it'd probably be good to braid this for the end of a hat. I mean, this is just decoration, so this actually looks like I put a lot of effort into it. And I am putting effort, I'm just not putting hours into it, I guess you could say. Because I don't like to dedicate hours to anything in the constantly because I don't have that kind of attention span at all. So I just can't do that. I would rather do this. You have immediate nice results. Things can get done in a couple days if you want, and be completely done and nice. And the thing is people aren't going to cherish it for a lifetime, and you can always make another. So, and I might, I don't know. I might be making lots of these. Who knows? And I could switch it up with different kinds of techniques, and you learn from everybody. I've always heard that my entire life, but it's true. I learned from three YouTubers. I kind of seen the kind of the way they stylize, and I got an idea, and then I thought of an idea from their idea, and this is how things are in life. One idea complements another idea, and it is true. That's why it's important for people to get their ideas out, because you want people's ideas to be out, because ideas are important. Things people say can be very important, and it's okay. That's what makes life life. We're here for a short time, then we're not. We're gone. And then you come back. I mean, but when you come back, sometimes it's nice to make your mark while you were there. Hopefully, it's a happy mark. If it's not, sometimes in the next lifetime you kind of pay for that. Sometimes you don't. Yes, it depends how life and fate and what you believe brings you. I'm gonna leave a lot of these frayed edges, but I'm gonna cut these down because I think it looks cute with like a kitchen type thing. And since apparently he's really liking yarn stuff for his kitchen, I make a matching sets. I might as well do the frayed ends and just kind of keep some of the frayed ends because I have a feeling he's gonna be want more, and it's a nice little theme. I'm gonna trim the other side up a little tee bit. And I'm even taking these frayed ends because they're kind of like everywhere. And I'm just doing the same thing to secure this end. Just to make it look nice. And like it actually, I had an idea. Not a chaotic mess. Just straighten it up a little. And I'm just going to put it through here. See, I have my metal needle and I can put it through like knots and different things. That's why I love the metal needle. Because my stuff's messy when I start it. It's messy. But I know I have this tough needle that's not sharp, but can get through a lot of yarn. And I can make a row for my needle, an actual needle, and sew it in. And I know I can cover up with cute little decorative things. Because that's what I'm doing is make the decorative things anyway, really. So I'm pretty much sewing in a crocheted row by attaching another decorative piece so it complements one another. So this one has to get attached. If you see like parts that aren't attached, feel free to like stick your big needle through there and attach them. Because that's how it goes. See, and I'm gonna keep this for an edge of this and then put probably another braid right here and then do another one of these. So we're just gonna do another braid because I think the braids kind of make the the little box, the not boxes. Oh, but I just think being longer with that, I just think it has a really nice angle, and the edges kind of with the braided edges, it reinforce it. And like I said, it could be a nice kitchen look. Because honestly, people like their kit to decorate their kitchens. I don't know why. I had a sister-in-law that made everything into apples, and then she used. And then if anybody else put an apple in her kitchen, she would get mad. It was insane the way she acted, but people are territorial about this kind of stuff, and I think they're funny. But anyways, this is a lot longer, and this isn't. So what we're gonna do? I already kind of got a lot of this sewn in, so I'm gonna leave that like that, and I'm gonna just fix up this a little. I'm gonna like get it the short as the other end. All right. And then any little long pieces, because it looks really cute, kind of short, giving it a haircut. It just seems like it brings the piece out more. It's kind of like having long hair. So the shorter these little straggly ends are, the better the work looks. You just want. Sometimes you get a haircut or you fix your hair, all of a sudden you look better. Same thing with yarn. Yarn is like hair, if you think about it. There we go. Alright, put this here. There. It's nice, and I'm going to make another braid just to kind of. I'll probably start bringing this in. The braids, actually, when you sew it in, you can make it like go out more, in more. So I said you're controlling this piece. That's so wonderful about it. I'm going to save this string because I'm going to probably do more yarn embroidery because we have to do another braid. So I need one on the other side of there. That's why I said sometimes these projects, you might only get one done a day, but by the time 2-3 weeks is done, you got something you're gonna look at every holiday because whoever you give it to, they're gonna put it out. And I'm probably gonna make these like placemats, like for holidays and special occasions, because since it's his Special Olympics colors, he's gonna want it. He's gonna want it not to get dirty. So I'm gonna be looking at these for years. But what do you do? It makes him happy. You gotta love your brother. But anyways, it gets easier when you gotta do one more before I end the stream. I'm gonna take another break and get the whole entire thing secured. I'm gonna do a little set where I'm gonna try to pump out as much as I can of these, so by Christmas time he has a whole set of these for his house. So I figure if I do one, I'll work on the other one. And then I'll probably end up working on more colors. Alright. There. Alright. Like I said, I go down here. Try to leave room because I'm making knots and stuff. So I'm gonna go from here to here to the edge. There. Then cut it right here. I'm going to get 3 sets of 6, which is the 18 string. And the 18 string is, I would say, more of your medium braid, which isn't bad to have. You want a nice medium braid. Like if you're using these smaller knitting needles, because it kind of complements your work, because you don't want it to be thicker than what you knitted in the middle. That would just make no sense. You just gotta think logical. And sometimes getting it done a little at a time is the best. One, two, three, four. Maybe one more of these. Maybe two more. I do sets of two usually. I like to stick to even numbers when I'm doing my knitting, because I feel if you work with even numbers, it's easy. If you work with odd numbers, you're always one string off. So odd numbers are only good if you're like making knots or whatever. That's the only time it's good to use odd numbers. Even numbers and integers are something you want to stick to, especially when you're making your sets. Like if you think of things and then you're just multiplying by 2. So you're making 3 sets of 2 for one string to be braided. If you think of it in sorts of that in math, it becomes very easy. Then you could communicate. People say, "Oh, I want 3 sets 2 for one string," and have it braided with the three corn roll braids, one corn roll braids or whatever. And then it's the numbers kind of go together, and you don't gotta worry about it. It's just basic math. So that's why it could be fun, and anybody can figure it out. Because math is the universal language. That's what they say, and because anybody can figure out how to make anything if it's done mathematically, because there's only one way to do it or it doesn't get done. This is one of those kind of projects. There's only one way to do it, or it just doesn't get done. So you have some kind of guide, so you're getting less confused. You don't want to get more confused. This stuff can be confusing and it can be intimidating. I'm not gonna be one of those yarn people that tell you uh, it's easy, because it's not. This is why I'm down to counting string. Because if this was easy, everybody would be making their own damn blankets. If I was to make a blanket, it'd probably have a lot of holes in it if I didn't do yarn embroidery. But it's okay. I know my limitations. I sometimes my stitches and my rows, I'm horrible at casting off, so I'm probably gonna start practicing and try to find an easy way of doing that. But right now, I'm working on these rugs and I got time to learn it, so that's what I do. And then I'm just working on the string for the third one, because we're gonna be braiding that out. Alright, one set. Now we need 2 more sets. You got 1 of 2. So you can say it out loud yourself. 1 of 2, 2 of 2. And you know you got your sets when you say that. 3 of 1. And then 2 of 3. Bam, done. That's how you could say it in your head as you're doing this. And you're always going to get the proper amount of string, because you're just reciting it out in math in your head. And it's just the easiest way to do it, and it's so simple. It's very logical this way. And logic is something I like to deal with. like logical things. I try to get all my string in one area, like this. Just try to smooth it out. Smooth it out here. There. I'm just trying to get them all in one place. That's all you're trying to do. And then you are going to take this, pull it out like this. I pull it over my fingers really tight. And this is just to start creating a knot, but you're gonna bring this in. And you grab this end like this, and go through this entire thing. And then when you get to this point, it's real loose. You're bringing it forward. Just keep bringing it forward as hard as as far as you can. There you go. You secured all that, and you should get like a small little pom pom, little pom pom girl there. That's what it should look like, a little pom pom. And since I have my foam table, what I do with these, I take this pom pom area and I put it right there, just like that. And then we're right here. See how wonderful and easy this is? I find it wonderful and easy. But that's it. It's logical. Logic is wonderful. Is a great thing. Okay, one set of one, two sets of one, and then like that. Same thing like that. Just count them out, or just go 4, 5, 6. You could do that too. Then you pull out 6 strings here. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this is 6 because we counted all of these. You must count, and I like to take all 3 and go like that. And then your middle's right here. Put your finger on here. I think the thumb is the easiest. If you don't have a thumb, take your middle finger or whatever finger this way, or you can take all your fingers and do that way, and you pull over your fingers. And then pull this out, and then take your thumb and then pull this over. You could do that too. Whichever way makes it easier. Then after this, you're taking the thumb and pushing down and pulling over. Taking a thumb, pushing down and pulling over. And this is all you're doing. This entire thing. And we're just doing that. And coming out this way. And moving there. And this is it. I mean, we're getting this project started pretty good. That's why I want to try to get him a long one this time, because I gave him a short one on the one episode. But that was probably for the one pot it keeps putting on it. So, and these could take heat. The Sharon can. I mean, not smoldering heat, but if it's just off the stove at normal heat, if you boiled something, I would think that it would be okay. But because yarn's pretty good like that. But just remember, yarn, don't have like it next to a fire and stuff, because you're literally going to catch this on fire. This is just meant when it cools off a little and you have your flame completely off. And don't put these by a burner, electric burner, or any burners, in fact, because you can burn your house down. And I only say that because the fire department loves to come to my work and tell us these details. And these are common to house fires. and it was said by the fire department. So I believe them because that's their job to go and bother people about their existence. And they do. They bother you about your existence. They tell you what's safe and what's not safe. If you have an unsafe heater, whatever you got unsafe, they like to tell you about it. And this, very easy, hold this with your thumb, and I wrap this around because I'm just tying this. So I don't have time to sit there and worry about all this fancy stuff. All right, and take a knot. You're just literally putting a yarn around here. That's it. Then you take it here because you're gonna knot this, and just knot it. Just cross over like this. Make a little circle. Put one through the circle and pull. That's all. And then you're gonna cut off these. Then you're gonna trim this up a little. You want it to look like this pom pom. This needs a haircut. Just something that needs a haircut. You want it to match each end. You had that perfect pom pom end, so you want both of them to be matching. So I have a bunch of random string that's just way too long. But see, this is perfect. Pom pom and pom pom. And then this goes right here. And we're sewing all this in. Then, like on probably part three, we'll work on the next block. But I'm gonna get this sewn in and everything. Actually, I think I have yarn from here. Yeah, I do. Good. I'm gonna use this just to sew this in. But literally, this will just be our part three. I mean, this is two, and then part three will be the next one. And I'm gonna the next one up until this project's done. And then I'll start another random projects, and then I'll probably start another one of these when I feel like doing this again for another random project to do because I'm bored, and do that. And I know I have these yarns, so something else might come up because I don't really see him immediate need of him having two right now. So, and I do the same thing. I just literally made a knot. That's it. And then you put your thing pulled through and like that, and that's what we're doing. That's it. All right, and you can knot this end also. One knot. All right, you're just taking it a circle, and you could circle your fingers, and then take the end, the long end that's coming out with nothing, and then pull out. That's it. I mean, this is so easy. And it keeps my interest because I can't be doing stuff that's not interesting because I will stop. So, and what you want to get the ends sewn in first because you want kind of this is what's going to shape it and keep it from stretching out. Because when you knit, everything stretches out. It's very important to start at the top. I'm going to start down here to secure my first stitch. There. You can keep that tail there for a minute until you get this secured a little bit. Just because this is probably going to be in someone's table for years when you go over there. And they're going to talk about it all the time because they're going to be excited about it. And it's going to become their best friend on their table. So, you might as well make it with love, as they say. And even the pom pom, I'm kind of like sewing in together because you're creating a loop that even holds up frayed, yarn. Because all you're doing is cutting any rogue ones. Like anything sticking out, you're just cutting it. Because the great thing with yarn is it can blend in. You can blend in a mistake. People don't realize that, but it's true. You can blend in a mistake. I do it all the time, all day long. I'm blending in mistakes, and I'm making mistakes look like they were purposely done. Because you never know. You never know what you're going to get, what you're not going to get, and it's always the luck of the draw with me when I'm doing my projects. So I have some foolproof methods that I use because I get random ideas and I don't know how I'm going to execute them. And this is the best way I've thought about executing this idea. I just think about it, and before I know it, I relaxed and I'm feeling better. See, this is so loose. I don't know if I could even sew that in. I'm cutting it. If it gets in your way, cut it. Because at this point in your life, you are just sewing in this. So any kind of random stuff, give it a haircut. Get it out of there. That's all you want to do. Just get it out. Alright, and then I'm just coming around here, coming around the mountain. I'm just pulling over. Coming around the mountain again. Where's the coffee? I want the Girl Scout creamer. Alright. I sometimes hold it with my thumb because I'm just taking the outermost on, and if it gets a little bit more in the color there, that's okay. This is, I'd like to call it the in-between border. Just doing my in-between border. The in-between border holds it together, makes it a functioning piece of work. Because yarn sometimes is hard to secure. So sometimes you need different kinds of borders. I'm gonna practice my crocheting a little bit. I'm gonna start making crocheting borders. This is a real sturdy stitch. And I think like for certain things, I love knitting. I seem to always float towards knitting. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna kind of practice at the crocheting a little bit more. I think crocheted borders would be nice because I could do project and like knit the middle and crochet in the sides, and then I could do it separately and then do this and just attach it. And then you could have even if I want to do a hat eventually, I could do a hat that's has knitted edges and the top could be crocheted because I think a crocheted hat would be actually probably a lot warmer. I don't think they're very warm sometimes. 'Cause I figure, maybe like it would be better like that. I don't know. Alright, let's home this way. Coming around the mountain. And this is coming down a little short, but that's okay. And I don't want this to be more fuller. So I'm going to push this so every piece of this is attached to this. and I kind of want a little thicker up here, so I'm gonna push this down a little because you're shaping the middle. It's like making a almost like making a cake. You want the middle for of like when you're making stuff like for that's useful for a kitchen. You want it to rise the middle because that's what you're looking for. Something that's thick in the middle, and this is pretty thick. This has about maybe 5 inches thick. All right. All right. But anyways, you wanted the thickness and density because when you go put this on the table, you're going to have the clean end and the messy end. So you want it to kind of match in technique and see this is really nice and thick. But see there's the end that's messy. But you can tell how much we scrunch this in. Because you want to pull it in so it's really nice and flush. And since we kind of created this and this was a shorter end, but we made it flush with that, we're going to reinforce this by coming down with your stitching to reinforce these the opposite way. And it really looks nice. It really does. I'm really impressed with this. And it makes me feel good for the day to be able to get a little something done that day instead of waiting like it seems a century. And working people, I like doing little bits like this. And if this falls out, it's alright. I like to cut this because if it gets too frayed, it's hard to make a net. Okay. Alright, and we're just pulling through here. See, it's fraying up. It always does this. There. Because the needle's pulling it. When it pulls it through, it does that. I don't know why. But you just take it in a circle, pull one end out, and just yank. If it comes undone. If you need a thread again, it's not the end of the world when it comes to this method. And you're making this perfect little centerpiece. And they're a little loose over here for some reason. Probably because the knitting's a little loose. So I'm gonna go over here where it's loose and then go over here and connect this. See, and you can't even tell you did that pull over with the stitch. That was like a hole. And I literally filled in a hole. So this is the exciting part of this. All you do is you go in and out when you see a hole. Because I knew this was like a looser end. So this is what I did. Pull that there. Alright. There's a big gaping hole there. Sometimes you could go a couple rows over. You could catch two stitches from here if they're like loose mongrels here. and then go into the orange part, and there you go. And you're literally just bringing this and tightening the middle. And the more you tighten the middle out, the better it gets. Remember, this is just a nice sentimental centerpiece. This is not something you're trying to make $1 million on. I mean, these kind of things are just made with love, and that's it. Good family projects. If you have people that like this kind of stuff, to me, I don't know. I have kind of I got a brain that just keeps moving, and I tend to think of numbers. But yeah, there we go, and it looks really nice. I mean, there it goes. See how nice that looks? And this is all, and that's, we did this in two parts, but it's nice. So tomorrow I'm probably gonna start the middle of this. I'm probably gonna do the middle, and then I'll do the two braids, and then if I have to, if it takes me 2 episodes to do this, we'll do this until we get the whole entire thing done, and then I'll start my other project I wanted to start. Because I like to get one thing done before I start another, like I said. And I thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you for all your support. And I will probably start, it'll be part 3, but it's going to be kind of the same kind of thing. I'm going to be going piece by piece. So I will talk to you tomorrow. I will go this way.